NFL Week 12 is here, and in this video, I have 5 plays for Sunday. The premise of this video is to be quick. We're not going to spend 10 minutes yapping about a play. We're going to go in, out, and hopefully make some money along the way. And let's just kick it off with our first play for this video. It is a little parlay. Yes, it is 4 players, all to record 2 or more first quarter receptions. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rashee Rice, CeeDee Lamb, and Puka Nacua, plus 1161 on DraftKings. After a little boost, I'm playing it for quarter unit. Nothing too crazy there. Now you're like, Austin, what about on FanDuel? I'd probably play these guys for 10 or 15 plus receiving yards. They unfortunately don't give you a Q1 receptions line, but I like them all obviously early, and I think they all get targeted. All 4 of these guys in very good matchups. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. 2+ receptions in the first quarter. We get in and out, and then we cash on Sunday Night Football with Puka Nacua. Couldn't be any better than that. That is a winner. Let's dive into some more plays, though. As always, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. My name is Austin. It has been a pretty good season for us so far, betting the NFL. I mean, if you look at it, 8 weeks out of the 11 have been profitable. Of the 3 weeks we lost money, all were pretty small losses. Not like we're destroying your bankroll with one day, one weekend. So again, if you are new, do me a favor, go down below, hit that subscribe button, drop a like. We do a bunch of different videos. I already posted one on Saturday. Here's the video. We went through 3 other player props. One of them includes Lamar Jackson. Spoiler alert, my touchdown parlay of the week. So make sure you don't miss out on that. It was already posted before this video. And of course, there are other places you can get some extra plays for me that I don't post anywhere else on YouTube, Twitter, social media, anywhere. They're only available in the Dub Club. This week's card, we have 2 normal player props, both at 1 unit. And then I laddered each of those respective props up to plus 250 and plus 375. So again, if you're interested, you can join 50% off for your first month if you use the link down below. It's a no-brainer. It's less than $10. And those plays have been printed in the NFL. They're printing in the NBA. Just saying, you should join. Let's dive into some plays. Now, last week, I did a play that a lot of you guys did not like. It was Ja'Marr Chase under in receptions, under in longest reception. That thing was sweat-free. Let's fade another Bengal. Chase Brown, I'm fading him. Under 15.5 rushing attempts and under 57.5 rushing yards. I played both of them for a half unit. The rush attempts at plus 100, the rush yards at minus 110. I like both of these. Same thing as Ja'Marr Chase last week, where I faded him. I said the Steelers are not as easy of a matchup as people think it is. This is a terrible matchup for him and the Bengals against the New England Patriots. Now, is Joe Burrow back? Guess who cares? Not I, because if it's Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco, I don't really care because they're not going to be able to run the football against the Patriots. They've been one of the best rush defenses in football the entire season long, whether it's limiting yards per carry, limiting rush attempts in general. Teams just don't run on them all too well, all too often. And while they will be down Milton Williams, I believe, I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, only one running back this season has had 16 or more rush attempts. That was Ashton Jeanty all the way back in week 1. I mean, come on. That's Ashton Jeanty and the Raiders. Now that we're in week 12, I just don't see Chase Brown having a big day. I know he's had a couple big days as of late, making a use of some good matchups, but I don't think he's getting 16 rush attempts. If Joe Burrow's back, I like this even more. I like it with or without Joe Burrow. I don't even care who's under center. I'm fading Chase Brown. He's not getting 60 rush yards. Heck no. My next play is going to be one that's familiar, and this is our line in the sand. This is our rubber match. Let's talk about this Q1 parlay. It is Amon-Ra and Jahmyr Gibbs, both for 10 or more receiving and rushing yards individually. I play this for 1 unit at minus 136 on FanDuel. You could also play this on DraftKings at minus 140. If you're like, that's a little bit too juicy, I did look at taking Amon-Ra for 2+ Q1 receptions. If you want to do that. Now, we obviously played this in week 10. It was sweat-free. Cashed on the first 3 plays for the Lions. Week 11, last week against the Eagles, disgusting. I mean, it was a disaster for the Lions offense. I mean, St. Brown almost had the 10 yards. I think he had 8 or 9. He had their first pass, I think, was completed to him. And then Jahmyr Gibbs had like 3 carries for 1 yard. It was a disaster. The first few drives were terrible. Whole game was terrible. I would expect them back at home here against the Giants to get going. This will cash. This is cash. Simple as that. Amon-Ra St. Brown will destroy the Giants secondary. They can't defend him. They play a lot of man. Good luck. Have fun, especially coming off a game in which St. Brown had 2 receptions on 11 targets. Yeah, him and Goff will get going early, and then Jahmyr Gibbs should be able to run all over that defense. 10+ rush yards, 10+ receiving yards. That is another winner. You're welcome. Our next play is going to be one that is a guy trying to make some history. on Sunday. Let's talk all about Mark Andrews. I'm taking his over 3.5 receptions at plus 110 on DraftKings. Now, this is only a half unit. So again, not going all the other plays that we've talked about besides, Chase Brown was full 1 unit plays. This is, well, I guess the long shot wasn't. Either way, I like breaking back in Mark Andrews here. Now, let's talk matchup aside. He will take on the New York Jets. The New York Jets have been a team that have been pretty bad against tight ends. And in fact, they play a ton of man coverage. Even though Sauce Gardner's out of there, they play a lot of man. And if you look at this Andrews this season, when they play man against man, Andrews is normally the go-to target for whoever's under center, whether it's Lamar Jackson or Snoop Huntley or whatever, Cooper Rush. I mean, we've seen Andrews this season. He's averaging about 2.29 yards per route run versus man, only 1.04 versus zone. The targets are way up against man. I mean, he's a big guy. So, of course, you're going to give him some more targets. But again, this is also, while it is a good matchup for him, I think a narrative spot, obviously. Now, Mark Andrews is under this line in 4 straight. Let's not sugarcoat it there, which is why it's a half unit play. But if you do not know, now you do know, Mark Andrews is not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 receptions away before becoming the Ravens' all-time leading receptions, leader in franchise history. He got the receiving yards last week, short on the receptions. Do not be shocked, and I would consider maybe a live bet opportunity. If Mark Andrews has, let's say, 2, or maybe he has 3 going into the 4th quarter, and the Ravens are up by 2+ touchdowns, do not be surprised that they find a way to get him that extra reception. I get their next game is at home. It is, I believe, against the Bengals. But again, if you're up, which they could easily be up by 2+ touchdowns, the dang New York Jets starting Tyrod Taylor, if they're up late in this game, and maybe it's just like, hey, you know what, Mark, let's get you this record now. Let's have a big celebration to cap off the game. Would not shock me at all. In addition to just being a decent matchup, I love Mark Andrews. Give me his over 3.5 receptions. I like the yards, but like I said, I think they just find ways to get him the rock. Then my next play, we have an under. And I know there are people out there that are in dire need of a fantasy football win. And they saw this guy go out there. He had 15 receptions, 185 yards. And they went out there and said, I need some of that. Get him into my lineup. Yeah, no, we're fading him. Michael Wilson, yep, under 61.5 receiving yards. Now, this is minus 111 on DraftKings, a half unit play. The problem with me putting out this play is that there will be someone, if this play does not, no, not just someone, there will be a lot of people. If this play does not hit, here they come into the comments. You're a bozo. Feed the comments 180 yards. I get it. It's a half unit play. I can afford to lose some of those. We're up 26 units in the NFL. But you got to be able to find the right spot to fade guys. And I think this is a good spot to fade Michael Wilson. I don't really think Michael Wilson's bad, but he's not a 15 catch guy. And that's also Jacoby Brissett setting the league record in completions. Look, I love it, but we've seen these kind of performances before by, no name, if you will, wide receivers. Michael Wilson, a younger receiver, but again, some no name guys, not like a Jamar Chase or Jackson Smith and Jigba, Puka Nacua, those guys where they go off and have a big game. You're like, okay, that's never happening again. We know those guys are studs. Do I think Michael Wilson's in that category? No. I think it's a really tough spot actually for him against the Jaguars, and the Jaguars have not been any bad secondary as of late. We saw them stifle the Chargers pass catchers last week. And I can see them doing it again. Only 2 wide receivers over the last 5 games have gone over this line against the Jags. Those are Nico Collins and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I don't personally think Michael Wilson's in that category. Also, now he'll be game planned for more. I don't think the 49ers really cared last week. They were up by a ton of points. So I was like, oh, whatever. You guys can throw it 6 million times for all we care. I do think this is a tougher spot here. I really want to fade Michael Wilson. I know he just went nuclear. People are going to put him in their fantasy lineup, probably like myself, and he's going to stink it up. Give me his under. I know. Hate to do it. It's cashing, though. Finally, we wrap the video up with an Underdog slip. If you are new to Underdog, reminder, code COS or the link down below. You play $5 to give you $100 in bonus funds. They're also throwing you profit boosts and stuff like that left and right. So again, it is a great time to sign up. To also give you a free pick. You should sign up. Just make sure you use code COS. So you get that bonus offer. Play 5, get 100. And then also you'll get those free picks and stuff like that. Again, here are all the states that Underdog's available in. If it's in your state, take a chance. Only play $5, get 100. Hey, pretty sweet. You could turn that 100 into a lot more money. So again, take advantage of that. Here's my Underdog slip. Amon-Ra 2+ Q1 receptions. I almost played it as a regular play. Problem was it was minus 150. But I will throw it in here. I think he is absolutely crushing that. Tyler Warren, 1 reception. I'll be honest, if you're looking for some value, 2+ Q1 receptions, or which I think is plus 190 on Fanatics. Also his Q1 receiving yards line. Check it out. Very good hit rate. They always try to manufacture some ways for him to get the ball. Chiefs, a very good defense on the outside. Tyler Warren could have a good day in the air. They've struggled against tight ends last year. This year they've been better, but really haven't faced a lot of good tight ends. Tyler Warren's a beast. Coming off a bye week, I think he gets at least one catch. I think he gets 10+ yards. Michael Wilson, I raised his line to 79.5. He ain't getting 80. You're not getting up 60. He's definitely not getting 80. And then Chase Brown, less than 15.5 rushing attempts. I love that one. You 4.72 extra money, put like $20 on it, turns it to 100. I think got a chance there. That's a cool thing about Underdog. You can raise lines. So if you like Michael Wilson, if you maybe like 61.5, might be sharp, raise them all the way up to 79.5. Take that. Take it. Take that, Underdog. Again, code COS. Play $5, get $100 in bonus funds. Thank you as always for tuning in. A reminder, we have another video for the NFL. Check that video out. Bottom one will be Logan going through all the games. Normally I'm in that video, but I was obviously having a kid. Not me, my wife. I'm barely doing anything these days. And then over here is we'll run back a ladder challenge for the NFL. That should already be live by the time we're watching this. Either way, I'm out of here. Have a great weekend. Let's cook the books, and I'll see you guys back in the next one. Peace.